Welcome back, everyone. New week, new story. Let's get to it. Path of the Splicer 4. Interact with the Splicer servitor in the helm.
The path leads you to me once more, Guardian. This endless night presses down on us all. I hear the city groan with the strain. The dark brings sickness now. Few can find sleep. The people hear of your triumphs against the Vex, but they see only dark skies above. They are being bent, and some may break. I will aid if I can. I will not be proud, but let the citizens see that we are suffering with them. I have faith they will see us for who we are. The light always shines through in the end, but for now, the work must begin again. Go.
The endless night is getting worse, Mithrak says. He can hear the city groaning under the strain. The Eliksni in the House of Light are suffering alongside the city's citizens, but they are still regarded with suspicion. He has faith that your progress as a Splicer will collapse the Vex simulation, but says the night muffles even the impact of your victories. The people hear of your triumphs against the Vex, but they see only dark skies above. They are bent, and some may break. So glad they don't make us go gather ether, because I'm already full.
People of the last city.
Oh no.
The Vanguard protects us from enemies outside our walls. But did you know they also protect us from information? Did you know that the Fallen unleashed the Vex on Europa? That they corrupt our Guardians with the poison gift of stasis, tempting them to build the darkness. These same Fallen are now inside our city, at the invitation of the Vanguard. Ikora Rain knows all this, and more. Her hidden spies report as much, yet she continues to support these false alliances over her own people. Whether her lies are born of malice or incompetence matters not. What matters is that I have gazed into the future and foreseen bodies in our streets. Make no mistake. An invasion is coming. And if we are to triumph, we must first take back our city.
What a trombone. Oh my goodness. Terrible. What's cool is well, it's not really cool. I never finished the Beyond Light campaign on my Titan, so I was working on that over the weekend. And it's just having that part of the campaign of Aramis unleashing the Vex and whatnot being fresh on my mind. Help me more understand that message she sent out and how wrong she is. So we're going back to Europa for the override mission. We got barrier overload, pestilence, and air superiority. Okay. An evil way to spread propaganda, because we all know, right? Yes, Aramis and her Fallen unleashed the Vex on Europa, but it was also our Golden Age that built that portal to the Vex there. These people from House of Light rejected Aramis and left. They were hunted down by Aramis. And also, the Fallen didn't give us darkness. However, with Aramis and her council wielding the darkness, we had to adopt it in order to counter.
The Vex are not a destructive rabble like the Fallen. They have much to teach. I am here to guarantee that we learn what we can.
Lasksmi, get out of here. I don't want to listen to you. You're terrible. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the lore and whatnot, especially with like Fife or Mylan games. think he's the other war dude. But like the story of like the ramen shop falling and him using the wrong language to express gratitude to the shopkeeper and whatnot, then getting hunted by the people, getting murdered, and his brother trying to look for him, and him getting stopped by the angry mob. And would have died too, to a citizen pulling out a shotgun on him, but he's saved by a guardian using stasis. It freezes the shotgun and tells the people to leave. Spoilers to that story, by the way, if you haven't seen it. But all that lore is like within weapons and whatnot. But just, I don't know. I've also made a video about the coup that Lasksmi is making with the other faction leaders to overthrow the Vanguard. It's just terrible. It just makes listening to these Lasksmi messages every week hit a little harder, knowing more about what's happening back home. There we go. Good job, people. We got him. Woo!
My Corakel, how is it you have allowed your guardians to wield the darkness?
It isn't as simple as giving them permission. Zavala expressly forbade it, and yet, Guardians continue to use the darkness. Some without issue, others. There have been incidents.
You see what became of Aramis. But Mithrax also sees Guardians using the darkness to defend Eliksni.
Nothing is ever as simple as it seems on the surface.
I think this presents a really cool, like, oversight on this whole situation where the light has definitely been done for harm. This can be explicitly shown in the Iron Lords and the Warlord era before Guardians, right? Warlords use the light to be dictators over these colonies and just have this ultimate power, right? And use it for evil. And then there's here with us using stasis. We use it to destroy Aramis. We use it to defend Eliksni. We use it to fight back the forces of dark. And then just other ways too. It's like the light we use to save others. The darkness is used to hurt and corrupt others, as there's been plenty of examples of that. So, yeah, like Ikora said, nothing is as simple. Using these powers is a very gray area. We're done. What? Oh. I wasn't supposed to come back here. Complete expunge. Sticks on the moon. Okay. A river of X code floods into a hub within the Nexus where an oppressive mind manages the flow of directives maintaining the endless night. Destroy this mind and its domain will collapse.
Do you feel that? The more you explore the Vex domain, the more I feel an all-seeing eye upon us. Ever watchful, ever seeking. We trespass in dimensions not meant for either of us.
I didn't use this shortcut yet. I opened the door and I didn't see this path open up, so I went through the main thing as usual. I was like, man, this upgrade was useless. But no, it was just me who's useless.
The Vex have enacted a purge sweep of the domain. We should stay ahead of it.
Oh wow, we skip all of that. Oh, that's such a good upgrade. Also, I'm gonna get killed by this stupid thing. Bye. Well, at least all of this is generally the same. Yeah, I wasn't gonna make that. Ooh, look at this. This is cool.
A layer of barriers defends this realm. A mighty fortress that resists brute force. Cunning is the key here, Guardian. That fragment of Vex data can be used to splice a bypass in their security, granting us access to the oppressive mind at this domain's core. I have helped as much as I can. You tread uncharted paths. Solving this enigma is up to you.
Interesting.
And the skills you have been given.
The skills we've been given, we've only been doing this like for a week. Alright, give me the key. Where are we going? What's this? Couldn't quite make it over. What does that do? Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's what we'll do. Let's just clear the way a bit. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Speedrunning this is going to be rough, that's for sure. Are we good? Okay. I don't know specifically what the key's doing. All I know is I'm holding it and going to these different areas.
The barrier has destabilized. You will need to continue to chip away at the defenses to destroy it entirely.
I saw that. We need to do this 3 times. You know, the good old rule of 3. Hold up. Just readjusting my mic. This way, I guess? I have to keep an eye out for these shortcuts. See if we can use it to bypass things. I've got a jump pad over there. I don't have access. I don't have a key yet to hold. So hopefully that doesn't come into play at all. Everyone ignore that. I don't want to hear a word. Oh my gosh. Not a word. Oh, I need to get there. Okay. Let's just... There we go, nice and easy. Oh, I hit a Warmind cell. Who else is shooting me? I'm hitting my sword. Okay, bye everyone. I'll make sure I can pick up a new key if needs be. So easy. Oh, what? No. I don't know what to do there. Huh. you. Bam. Alright, laser walls. Maybe we should have picked up that upgrade. That one killed me. I got really lucky on those first two. Then I got real cocky on that third. Okay. Jump there. Jump here. Interesting. Okay. Ow. Get out. Whee! Oh my goodness. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? You can just ignore everything. Everyone out of here. Move it. I meant to use Xenophage there, but this works. I lost my well, but I did get the Warmind cell. Okay. Easy. Aww. Shouldn't we have like a jump pad somewhere? Wait, can I open? No, okay, so you do need to be holding the orb. We're learning, chat. We're learning these new things together. Okay, pick up a new one. Two, one, yes. Oh, it just recharges when you're in the circle thing. Ah. I didn't notice that until now. My pinky toes, no. Dang it. All the way back here? Weak. Woo. Let's recharge up. And let's not die. Woohoo. Almost. Alright, boss time.
The oppressive mind rises to face us. Show it the power of a Splicer.
Please don't have stages. We already went through a ton of challenges to beat you. Come on. He's immune. I hate this. All my weapons are just not loaded at all. I need to grab something? Oh, shoot. That was where I needed to be. Just let me melt the boss. Let's get rid of this crappy whatnot stuff. Huh. So for those of you watching the recording later, it appears that my internet has died. I don't know. Hello. Oh, it got rid of all my ammo. What? Oh, I hate this. I hate that network error crap that they give you. I have no ammo. Oh, well, it's gone. Man, not having any ammo is so annoying. Oh gosh, why? Don't you dare kill me. Okay. Wow, what a mess. We're done. Mithrax, got anything to say?
With your light, you are unweaving a reality the Vex have forced upon us. The tapestry of their design continues to fray. But this is far from over.
Lasksmi is certain that our continued efforts, combined with future war cult's technology, can locate the source of the Endless Night.
I am aware of the device Lasksmi uses. Does it not worry you?
In what way?
It is taxing on its user. To have one's consciousness fractured into countless splinters and rejoined again can be harrowing.
Lasksmi is up to the task.
This sort of technology is taboo among the Eliksni. But perhaps House Light can still offer some assistance. My engineers could improve on the design, make it easier for Lasksmi.
No. The Black Armory has already provided necessary enhancements for us. Lasksmi will manage, I'm confident. Besides, the less interaction Lasksmi has with your people at the moment, the better.
Yes, perhaps you are right.
Freaking Lakshmi. I feel like all this would be so much more smooth. Everything would be much better if she wasn't around. Let's go talk to Ikora.
There's been a disturbance. Sabotage in the Eliksni camp. This wasn't just an attack on their ether stores. Someone wanted to send a message. Our citizens forget who they were before they found the safety of the city's walls. It's easy to mistake change as the front line of a battlefield. But this is a time for level heads and compassion. Saint 14 is already en route to investigate. I trust him, but he is torn between duty and doubt. And Lasksmi? The Vanguard has tolerated her broadcasts, as Zavala doesn't believe it's our place to interfere in civilian politics. I see now that was a mistake. We can't allow anyone to jeopardize our alliance with the House of Light, no matter their motives. Our citizens must see that the Eliksni are people, just like them. Get down there. Be the calm the city needs. Hear out grievances and keep tensions low while I root out the perpetrators. It's time that Lasksmi and I had a little talk.
Do we get to go down to the city streets? I doubt it. That'd be cool. Ikora reports that someone sabotaged the House of Light camp in the Eliksni quarter. This wasn't just an attack on their ether store, she says. Someone wanted to send a message. She suspects that Lasksmi 2's radio messages triggered the unrest. The Vanguard has tolerated her broadcast as Zavala doesn't believe it's our place to interfere in civilian politics, she says. I see now that was a mistake. She sent Saint 14 down to the Eliksni quarter to keep the peace and asks you to join him. Be the calm the city needs.
May you find
We
what
get
you
to go to the Eliksni quarters, and there's an actual reason to now, right? Right? Okay, yeah. I wonder how much changed it's going to be. Like, is there going to be certain areas that's a little more roughed up and whatnot? Because the last few weeks, nothing's really changed in that area. Oh, is Lasksmi there? Or is that Osiris? Oh, it's Lasksmi. Can I just pop a bullet? Just...
You see what was done. Our ether tanks smashed. Our supplies stolen. Our home defaced.
I cannot find any witnesses.
This is not surprising. The locals have been under enormous pressure. You're lucky it was not worse.
This destruction helps no one but the Vex. Please, instead of teaching your people to fear us, tell them the truth.
The truth is that your kind has preyed upon us for as long as we can remember. There's nothing I can say that will make them forget.
House Light has never raised arms against humanity.
Your houses and titles are layers of politics. You're still fallen.
You promised us your protection.
And you've had it. We allowed your brood to squat and chitter here in our city. But still, the Vex simulation persists. If you're displeased with how you have been treated for your failure, then I suggest you camp elsewhere.
Your people destroyed what little we possessed. Now we have nothing. Nowhere to go.
Humanity faced a challenge like that once. We banded together and built a city with walls to keep our enemies outside, where they belong.
We hear her broadcasts, but more than that, we feel the energy of her words in the air. Sharp as blades pointed at an enemy. At us.
You cannot ask people to live alongside their monsters.
Listen to me now, Saint. Let me tell you something about monsters. Once, in a city grander even than yours, we prospered. But it did not last. Our great machine abandoned us. And when we pursued it, you sent something back. A creature fueled by hatred. It tore through our great houses like they were nothing. And then it came for the rest of us. Nowhere was safe from its insatiable rage. In its eyes, even the most innocent of Eliksni were still fallen. It could die, but it would not stay dead. It would shake off the rot and rise again. And if it caught you in its crushing embrace, impaled you on its ragged crest, dragged you screaming into its foul shell. None live to speak of these horrors. It called itself the Saint. My people must now see the creature every day. It sees us. If we wish to survive, we must all learn to live alongside our monsters.
Anything else? Or could you imagine being told that? Monster is one of those words in our language that can have two very different tones associated with them. One of them being the more kid version of monster, you know, like the monster under your bed or that monster in your closet, for these fictional entities, right, that aren't human, that are meant to kind of give us a little scare, right? Monster is used a lot in movies and in shows, especially those of kids. It's just to signify the bad guy. Monster is also used in terms of just raw evil that we can call each other, where a monster isn't the outward appearance but the inward soul. And nothing hits harder than when you hear someone call someone else a monster, someone who, especially if they were like really close to or had that passionate feelings for, like a close friend, an old spouse, old lover, family, etc. And then hearing them call that person a monster with all the heartfelt sincerity they could put behind that word, it hurts. And it doesn't have to be directed at you or to anyone that you particularly know. But when you hear those words, you can feel that pain, that betrayal, that hurt. So it's just this whole concept of having the fallen, having the guardians together under one roof. Lasksmi makes a good point, but she's also doing nothing to change it. She's fueling that rage. She's like, yes, they are our monsters. Have fallen and particularly hurt Lasksmi in the past? I don't know. I don't know Lakshmi's past. Maybe they haven't. And maybe they have. There are plenty of people in the city who have been affected by these fallen. But then again, everybody here in the fallen have been affected by the guardians. Whether it's Saint specifically, whether it's us, or the hundreds and thousands of guardians in the Destiny lore. And now, these fallen, these refugees who have nothing, are living within the very walls that houses these monsters. And Mithrax has done great in calming their fears, in bringing them to see past that. Is it 100% successful? I doubt it. These fallen are still terribly terrified of us. The people of the last city have no right to bully, to sabotage, to kill the Eliksni that are currently standing as refugees within the city walls. Because right now we have the upper hand. We're in a greater position of power over these fallen. If the civilians wanted to, they could storm this camp right now and slay every single one of them. Nice. Powerful cutscene. Powerful arguments between all of them. But Lasksmi too is wrong. And we all know it. I was hoping to hear a little more from Saint, but...
This sharing of hatred, as my father would say, is disappointing but not unexpected. Some Eliksni believe that Guardians prey on us without reason. But as a scribe, I know better. The accusations Lasksmi makes against us are mostly true. Eliksni have raided the last city for centuries. They were driven not only by desperation, but by unspoken resentment at the Great Machine's abandonment. Every Kell since the Whirlwind has tried to unify Eliksni in opposition to humanity. This warlike mentality has been a weakness. The House of Light tries to unify Eliksni with humanity, not against them. And this is how we are received.
That's so rough.
I believe this is the war strategy humans call poisoning the town well. Luckily, we have enough ether reserves to last until repairs are made. But this is a worrying sign. When Ikora Rey offered us refuge, we assumed she had the authority to do so. But the longer we stay here, the more we wonder if anyone is in charge of this city. Your leaders do not seem to have the loyalty of the people. This instability puts Mizrax Kell in a difficult position. Many in our house were against coming here, but they trusted my father's judgment. Now, his messages of tolerance and forgiveness appear naive. Perhaps this was the attacker's goal. I'm surprised humans would destroy a representation of the Great Machine. My research with the Awoken suggested that humans revered it as we do. However, my personal observations have not supported that conclusion. I understand the city used to have an official speaker, a sort of cleric who spoke to the Great Machine's will. However, human records state that role was abandoned after Dominus Gaul sacked the city. To leave the Great Machine without a representative among the people seems heretical. Many Eliksni believe that humanity takes the Great Machine's blessings for granted, just as we once did. Perhaps they're right.
If I recall the history of the Traveler, no, not the Travelers, the Speakers, the Traveler hasn't spoken to a Speaker in quite some time. Like, I know for a fact that the Speaker we had growing up through D1 and the beginning of D2, he never spoke to the Traveler. He was just kind of that figurehead. So, yes, it seems like heresy to be under the Great Traveler and have no one to be that gap, that prophet between the two, but we haven't had one in quite some time. Oh, we gotta go listen to Lasksmi. Gosh darn it. I hate you, Lasksmi. I seriously hope Ikora blasts a Nova bomb through her face by the end of this. Sorry, future War Cult fans. Lasksmi's the worst. This is a message directly to us.
Guardian, I regret you had to witness my outburst earlier with the fallen leader. I am not a diplomat, and sometimes I can be terse. I know terrible things have been done in the name of the city. In the name of the future war cult. In my name. You understand, though. The city is a living thing. And it is rejecting the fallen, like a fever burning out an infection. I will speak to the fallen leader. Tell it that the future war cult will personally replenish their supplies when they are ready to move on.
Oh my gosh.
I do not wish them to think badly of us. I know they are your associates. What a city we would have if everyone's heart was as big as yours. Have you heard the song of the people echoing through the city? Rise up as one, march toward the sun. The words of people reaching for dawn in this endless night. People who have still not given up hope. Neither have I. And if you were wondering, this was not the conflict I have foreseen. No. That will come later. Unless I can stop it.
Oh, it's so bad. Oh, what a terrible apology. Alright, let's read this first. Lasksmi too expresses regret at her terse words towards Mithrax, but she seems more apologetic about her own behavior than the attack on the Eliksni. She tells you such an action was natural. The city is a living thing and is rejecting the fallen like a fever burning out an infection. I will speak to the fallen leader, she says. Tell it that the future war cult will personally replenish their Tell it that the future war cult will personally replenish their supplies when they are ready to move on. I do not wish them to think badly of us. It's terrible. We will help them, but only when they decide to leave. If they continue to stay here, we won't help them. Nah. We're not going to replenish their supplies. No, we'll help them when they leave. When they get out of here. We'll hand them a lollipop while we kick them out of the park. Just so they don't have harsh feelings towards us. It's terrible. And she's sitting there thinking, this is not the conflict I foresaw. That will come later unless I stop it. It's like, Lasksmi, you are pushing these fallen out. Now, I don't think Mithrax is going to be the one to snap. The one who comes in here and raises fire to our city. If anything, I think in your vision, when you see Mithrax atop of our burning city, it's not because of him. I think he's come to witness to see what the city has become. Because him and his house was not here to witness it. I think it was Amanda Holiday. Whether it was a video like this or whatever, or just like a lore card hidden away in a weapon or a sparrow. I forgot who. But they were talking about Lasksmi and they were like, heard their reports. It was a lore card. It was someone leaving Future War Cult and sending Lasksmi a letter saying that they're done. And they were talking about how, I don't know what conflict you've seen, but just know that if a conflict arises, it will not be House Light who fires the first shot. I understand a lot of this has real life applications, and I'm not going to even begin to relate those to real world, but you know what they are. I'll keep everything in the context of this game. Alright, now I am pissed. I hope we can execute Lasksmi too. She ain't a guardian. A simple bullet would do the trick. Alright, let's go speak to Mithrax now.
I have no words left to speak. Lasksmi too. The saint. I do not know if I reached them. In truth, I do not know if I even reach you. The darkness of this night weighs on me more than any other. Know this. I will not stop fighting for those in this city. Even those who did this. ransom of our will. Those who attacked us were blinded by fear, poisoned by venomous words. They were focused badly, bent badly. But they are not truly our enemies. We will not seek vengeance. We are not the monsters some believe us to be. Walking the path of the light takes strength. That is what we will remember tonight, as fear and hunger gnaw at us, as our hatchlings sleep in ashes.
So depressing. The attack on his people left Mithrax shaken and despotent. You can hear the frustration in his voice even through the servitor. Although he feels betrayed, he refuses to retaliate. He tells you he won't stop fighting to protect the very people who took up arms against his Eliksni. The light passes through us all, he says. We focus it through the prism of our will. Those who attacked us were blinded by fear, poisoned by venomous words, but they are not truly our enemies. He says it is not easy to walk the path of the light with forgiveness, but he and his people will walk it nevertheless. Well, that about sums up the weekly quest for this week. Gosh, that's a lot. That's heavy. I do not know what more to say, honestly. Between the hypocrisy and the... I don't even know what words to use. Racism, right? Or just the foul, cruel actions and words of Lasksmi 2, to the torn saint who has spent his entire life, lived longer than almost anyone else in this city. He's been around since like almost the first traveler, fighting off Fallen. In fact, our first encounter with Saint in the flesh is us on Mercury, fighting off legions of Fallen because they massacred a colony ship, with Saint being the only survivor left. Him losing all hope, us giving him that strength back, and him pushing the Fallen back, slaughtering houses. His signature move, the headbutt, that dent in his helmet, is from him headbutting a like 2-story tall Kell to death. Saint really is like the Doom Slayer to the Fallen. And Saint knows it. He spent his whole life fighting these guys. Just as Saint isn't pure enemy of the Vex, he is an enemy of the Fallen too. And now he's left with this. With him having to protect the very people he's been slaughtering for the last few centuries. You've seen the House Light logo. It's, or probably not their logo, but that painting at the quarter, I didn't notice this until Vife pointed it out. It's Saint's helmet. It's a marker that the Eliksni adults tell the hatchlings will ward off Guardians, and is a reminder of the terrible things the Guardians have done to them. It's Saint 14's helmet. So Saint is torn. I don't think he's sitting there openly against them like Lasksmi and a lot of the city is. But he's definitely not as supportive as he probably could be, as you heard. But I think he will change around. Especially the more he interacts with Mithrax and sees the good and the humanity within House Light. I kind of liked how Bungie is leaving that open assumption towards our Guardian Because maybe not everyone feels this way. Our protagonist is supposed to be this general figure. One where it can be played by anyone and everyone with various views and moral and ethical values. Just as it left it open with the death of Uldren Sov. Was it us who pulled the trigger, or was it Petra? Although many of us lean towards us killing him, it's open. They left it open for those people out there who wouldn't have pulled the trigger. They can say that their character did not pull the trigger because Bungie left that door open. They're doing the same thing right now, at least for this week's lore. I'm totally in the boat that I'm with Mithrax. Now, obviously, killing Lasksmi too is probably not going to be the answer, but she's definitely the head leading cause towards all of this destruction, towards the Eliksni, the incompatibility between the two. When Mithrax is talking about poisoning the minds and bending the people the wrong way, that's all Lasksmi 2 is doing. The people may have been bent towards snapping towards the fallen, but Lasksmi 2 just kept bending it further. She didn't try to straighten it out. And with lots of guardians like Saint, who are more neutral than helping. Like they're not hurting the fallen, but they're not sitting there trying their best to keep things under control like Ikora or even Osiris. Anyways, heavy messages this week. That's a lot that happened. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the story this week. It is deep and very thought-provoking. And I'm intrigued to see what the future holds. With the interactions between the civilians of the last city to the civilians of House Light. And just where Bungie plans on taking this. Because we need them. We need House Light. Not only to splice through this endless night, but for when we do fight against Savathun, the Witch Queen, and the Dark Fleet, we're going to need every ally we can get. This includes the Fallen. This includes the Cabal. This includes the people of the Reef. We need everyone. Whether the people of the last city see it or not. We need them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And I will see you all next week.